On Australia by Design, we have taken a look at some of the country's latest and greatest architecture. We've been outside to look at its landscapes, but now it's time to take a look on the inside. Welcome to Australia by Design Interiors. Well, we've gathered a team of industry experts to get together at Top 3 by Design in Sydney to help us choose the best projects to go through to the final and ultimately crown the #1 interior design project for this year.
Some people get a bit confused about the distinction between architecture and interior design. And most certainly the architecture dictates the interior, but in a really great project they work together.
Coming up, Reno is looking inside one of Sydney's most talked about exteriors. Terry's exploring a Melbourne wonderland, and Angela is looking from the inside out. But first, come with me on a little trip to paradise.
The Heart House. Excellent use of space, clear, clean lines, giving a picture-type view of Pittwater.
I like this project because of the decades of furniture that have been collected, and that in itself gives you a sense of, I'm on Mackerel, I've come by ferry. To me, it's a true beach house, a true holiday place.
Well, this is the breathtakingly beautiful Mackerel Beach, about an hour north of Sydney. It is one of the most stunning locations in Australia. But of course, living here takes a certain level of commitment. Building here is a whole nother level, not just on the owner's behalf, but on the architect's as well. And what you're about to see is a beautiful reflection of not just that commitment, but the incredible surroundings that it sits in. Rob, I've got to say, I think this is the most beautiful point of view of Pittwater that I've ever seen.
And I suppose one of the ideas was to draw the outside in.
Yeah, and I'd imagine this would be one of the many tools that you've got in your bag of tricks to do that here in this dwelling, because it is just so breathtaking, isn't it?
Well, it is a box of tricks.
Yes.
You know, it's a very small little box,
yes,
but with a big opening,
yes,
to the view.
And did the client call you a magician?
Oh, I wish. I wish.
And this is quite a lovely installation as well.
Well, you know, when you're a ceramicist, you've got to find somewhere to put your stuff.
Yes.
And Louise is a ceramicist, and we just thought, well, why not make a wall of display? And it's really quite a small footprint for a house,
yeah,
but it's a very high ceilinged.
Yeah.
And that makes the difference. It's a modest house, which has, you know, basically living in all in one space.
Yes.
You've got the kitchen, the living, and the dining.
Yeah.
All with a view, and within this volume you can also build, you know, this little loft bedroom, tuck the bathroom, and sort of build a box within a box.
That's a fun space. Can I take a look?
It's a great view up there. It's an even better view.
This is fantastic.
The idea is every space in this house takes advantage of this dramatic view.
I tell you what, the kids would just love getting up and down this ladder, right?
It appeals to people's adventurous spirit.
And you've used a lot of Australian woods. This is spotted gum or black?
It is spotted gum,
yeah,
yep. With birch ply on the walls,
yep,
which give it, you know, that warmth and create us what I suppose a lightness inside.
Yeah. They've got a lot of these old mid-century modern pieces, which I love. I mean, look at that Hans Wegner.
I know, and the Featherstone chair,
yes,
and everything. And I think, you know, it highlights the client's character,
yes,
and the client's personal sort of delight in beautiful pieces.
Yes.
And the house sort of matches that.
What is it that drew you to working with ceramics to begin with?
I can't even remember why, but I always, as a young child, wanted to learn the wheel.
So it must be an intriguing place to work, and certainly really inspiring.
It is. And I photograph a lot of things on the beach or on the rocks down there.
So it's become your outdoor studio?
Yeah, it has. It's very inspiring.
I'm in love with some of your pieces of furniture as well. Where did you collect all these things from?
We inherited a lot of furniture from Nick's parents.
Yes.
This dining set is one of our favourites.
Yes.
The Featherstone we purchased.
Yep.
But the other two chairs were Nick's grandfather's.
Wow. Well, look, hats off to you for retaining some of that family heritage, because I think it's really helped complete the story of the house. And then with your creativity and the ceramics and everything thrown in, there's so many stories here. Well, the Hart House is a wonderful collaboration between architect, owner, and nature itself. And I think Rob's skill and submission to this incredible view has created the most magnificent backdrop for Nick and Louise's ceramics and lifelong collection of mid-century modern furniture. And I couldn't think of a better place to be inspired. Welcome back to Australia by Design, where we're looking at some of the best interior design from across the country. Later on in the show, Terry is opening up a puzzle box of a house in Melbourne. But first up, Reno is in Sydney.
This is a 26-storey tower in the middle of the Sydney CBD. It's got 135 apartments, 86-room boutique hotel, and 8 food and beverage locations.
What I felt was incredibly special was the use of the rooftop, an open space, beautifully detailed landscape and furniture that invites you for events.
The Arc building has quickly become known and loved in Sydney for its wonderful brick facade, but we're lucky enough to be invited inside. Koichi, I'm noticing in modern developments now that the interior and exterior is blurring and more or less coming into one.
We thought about how we can actually bring the public into architecture, the interior of architecture. And this is a wonderful way to look at a thoroughfare that you know, the two streets, and bring the public into the heart of architecture. As people come in, this is the wow factor.
I've noticed that unlike many foyers, we've still connected to the outside here, aren't we? Again, blurring those lines between interior and exterior. Obviously deliberate.
We wanted to open up to bring the daylight in to the heart of the building and bring, you know, the people into this sort of where the lights filter through. So even the lift is made of glass. All the public areas, we wanted to make sure that there's enough daylight, because daylight makes people happy. And it's just a simple design principle. So why not use the daylight that's available to us?
So Koichi, this feels really different to upstairs, isn't it? We're sort of subterranean here.
Yes. So the upstairs was for the residence lobby, filled with daylight, natural light, versus this is no daylight. So the hotel entry needed to work with the artificial light.
We're entering this spectacular pool area here. I understand this gets Instagrammed probably more than any part of the city of Sydney, does it?
That's correct. People seem to love this space and come here and take photos.
There's a sense of calm that comes upon you as you enter here. It's the curves that do it. It's the artificial lighting. It's all this ambient colour temperature. It's really inviting.
We wanted to draw inspiration from nature and bring, you know, the contrast from the hard edge concrete jungle of city into almost like coming into cave-like environment. And this somehow draws people's attention, but emotionally, people, you know, instantly connect to space.
You do, and I noticed that by using the mirror at the back, we've actually doubled the impact, because the place from outside actually looks twice as long than what it actually is.
That's right, it's a magic. You get one and you get the other one for free.
Exactly. Koichi, even in the elevator, we've got this connection to the outside, haven't we?
It's almost like being inside but outside.
Again, even you've captured that in every part of the building. Oh, Koichi, so this is what we saw from down there, isn't it? This is the light well. Absolutely spectacular. And the hotel room?
This room acts for long-term or short-term stay for the guest. And you're away from home at almost like being at home.
I can see that through here we've got a palette which is quite calming as well. This is from your studio?
That's right. We draw inspiration from nature. We wanted to bring a lot of natural, warm and inviting color palette. And it does connect back to the architectural facade made of bricks.
With the brickwork. Yes.
That's correct.
Let's have a closer look at this. I heard there's something like about 300,000 bricks that were used in this project.
That's right. It's unbelievable. We built brick by brick.
And they're all laid by hand?
That's correct.
So you must have had some pretty skilled tradesmen to do this.
Yeah, it was absolute nightmare to get that precision. We're talking about 5 mil precision accuracy. And we had to check every coursing that we laid. But as a result, it's a wonderful way to celebrate our tradition in the heart of city.
Kyochi Takata has taken what could have been a disjointed collection of spaces and created a unified yet diverse building that seamlessly moves from heritage respect to modern luxury without ever losing its sense of place.
It's almost time to hear our judges' picks for this episode. But first up, Terry is finding surprises behind every door.
Angela and I spoke about this one quite extensively. It's a house that's full of surprises.
Look, I love how playful this house is. It feels almost Japanese, really, in all of its nooks and crannies.
I think our favourite part is that the doggy has become the client.
If this entry is anything to go by, this Hawthorn cottage is going to be a little bit of fun.
Oh, hi, Terry.
You must be Stefan.
Good, yes.
A shoes-off house, I see.
Yes, it was part of the client's initial brief to have no shoes throughout the house. So if you pull that handle...
Okay. Oh, look at that. Every girl's dream, a concealed shoe cupboard.
Yes.
What an incredible art collection.
Yeah, so with the client, the house doesn't only house the client, but it also houses their art collection that they had previously purchased.
So you've literally built the house around the art?
Yeah, the ground floor has been predominantly built around the artwork.
And the kitchen, it's almost hidden away.
Yeah, it's the theme that I have through my architecture quite often is to have reveal and conceal. And in here, the kitchen's partly concealed and partly revealed to the dining room.
So when you've got a dinner party or something, you've got friends over,
Yes.
you're connected, but you can hide all your clutter away.
Exactly.
Very nice. And I'm loving the brass details everywhere. Is that actually a transparent ceiling? In fact, is that the floor above?
Yes, and that's continuing the reveal and conceal within the project, and we have the corridor above leading to the bedrooms that as they walk past, you'll see from the kitchen, upstairs, and then from upstairs you see into the kitchen, and continues a connectivity between the private space upstairs and the public space downstairs.
This looks like another one of your conceal and reveals, but why do we want to look under the house?
So what happened, the initial house came to this point the wall was, and what we did to create a bigger dining area, we pushed the wall out to the fence line. In doing so, we ended up with a problem with the dog.
The dog?
Yes. So the dog used to run from the front yard to the rear yard, and then once we built here, he couldn't get across. So what we did was create a tunnel for the dog to run under.
Oh my God, get out of here. It's a passageway for the dog.
Yes, exactly. He became a client.
So Terry, when the house was designed by Stefan, the exterior was designed to blend into the street. Whereas with the interiors, it was really focused on how we live. So Terry, this is one of the kids' bedrooms, but I really wanted to show you this.
The cupboard? This is very Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. What an incredible little space.
Yeah, Terry, this is the old part of the house that was built in 1887, and what we've done here is we've created a mezzanine play area for the kids.
Hello. Oh, hello. And I'm guessing this is another one of those conceal and reveals that Stefan was telling me about, because I can see straight through to the room below.
Yeah, so that's a study downstairs and the kids' play area up here, and we've got that connection between us.
Goodness, this is that transparent floor that we were looking at from below.
Yeah, it provides connection between the ground floor and the first floor.
It really does. It's delightful.
So Terry, here we are in the master bedroom where The room's been designed completely around the gum tree outside.
I guess the original temptation could have been to aim for those city views, but Stefan's perfectly framed that tree and the light is gorgeous.
And it means we're waking up to the treetops. So Terry, I've got one more surprise for you.
I'm assuming this isn't a normal cupboard. Oh my God.
Shall we go up?
Yes. Oh wow, this really is the house that just keeps on giving. Stefan's utilised every square centimetre of this place.
Yeah, so Terry, this is the roof terrace that Stefan designed for us to be able to spend summer nights and experience the outdoors in the neighbourhood.
You've got the park over here for the kids and you're really on top of the world.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, this was a really small cottage. Why didn't you move?
Yeah, look, we love the area, Terry, and what Stefan's given us is a home now that is compact, but it does have everything that we need as a growing family.
Although relatively humble from the outside, from the moment I stepped through the front door, this home has been full of surprise and delight. The architect, Stefan, truly is the master of the reveal.
Well, welcome back. We'd all love to have a house with a spectacular view to the outside, but that can often raise its challenges when you're designing the inside.
Inside, the architects have achieved something pretty special apart from a comfortable and clean atmosphere. The open space allows the entire area, with the transparency of the windows, to really breathe.
Australia has great summers and the best place to spend summer is on the coast. I'm about to visit a beach house that is designed not just for summer, but for all seasons. Wow, this is amazing. You must be very proud being the man who designed this.
Yeah, very proud.
And I can see you've got these fantastic windows on both sides, which is kind of unusual. What led you to that decision?
We want to ensure that we can replicate the view that we caught when we first arrived on this piece of land in the finished product itself. It was the terrain, it was the landscape that really caught my eye. And so the emphasis was that we go with a single palette for the home. We bring that external material into the home and we infill the gaps with frameless glass. What that allows us to do is catching all this borrowed greenery, borrowed landscape from adjoining properties that feels as if it's part of your own property.
So you've got that beautiful connection to the outdoors, and that's where all the colours coming from. But not every window in the house is enormous. You've got some smaller windows as well that connect you to the view.
We do, in essence, we pretty much have 3 different styles working throughout this home. They're all vitally important. I mean, each view itself has its own special feel about it and its own orientations. These windows here are meant to disappear. In some instances, you actually don't realise that they're here. And there's a really nice picture frame window at the end of the corridor. And then we've got horizontal windows that are parked on the roof that allow you to get a view up through into the sky come evening time and so forth. And then you've got that connection from internal to external. And we've positioned that just above the bath.
How good is this? I can really see myself having a bath in here under the stars.
And that was the intention of it all, just to let this natural light come straight through into this space. Working with the natural cement render on the walls and on the floor, with the skylight position in its location, it just really wakes the space up. And it's keeping the intention of that single palette working its way throughout the whole residence.
So this is the one material in the house that's been designed to stand out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the idea in using a stone with such character and such movement about it. As an island bench, I was able to get some warmth into it. So natural stone gives me that. Its movement gives me some really nice character that when you're standing around, it's a nice talking point and sort of connectivity between people. And it's positioned in a location that allows it to be such a showpiece. It's an internal kitchen, but also behaves as an external barbecue area.
And it's got beautiful ripples through it as well, which mimics the ripples in the water outside there.
Yes, and that's a happy accident that we're happy to take.
And the kitchen is the heart of the home, right?
Absolutely, and that's the added benefit of it all.
Brings everyone together.
Yes, it does. And it's going for this sort of muted, soft, gentle, balanced approach that just softly works next to the landscape that we're on.
Very clean, very simple, very tonal.
Yeah, and timeless.
Matt, this is a stunning home. What is it that you love most about it?
Yeah, thank you. For me, it's probably the simplicity of the home. It's got such great views of the area, and they're quite distant views as well. So certainly in summer, it's a fantastic house with the pool and the entertaining area. I'm not a big winter person myself, but I've sort of grown to love them since I've been here. It's just so great to sort of sit around this area, light a fire, have a few wines, and it's very, very cosy.
All too often we get caught up in decorating our homes, choosing a colour palette and following the latest trend. The smart thing about the interior of this home though is that it takes a step back from all of that and it lets nature do the colouring in.
Now it's time to hear from the judges.
Koichi Takada has done it again, one of my favourite buildings in Sydney. The brickwork is precise and adds incredible amounts of character to the Sydney landscape.
There was debate amongst the judging panel about this project. To me, it is engineering masterpiece, the way they have thought through the structure and just the overall environmental considerations.
Well, with our first two finalists chosen, our journey has truly begun. Be sure to join me next time on Australia by Design for more stunning interiors.